the city of Cyprus, around 300 BC, there was a very wealthy merchant named Zeno. During a journey from Phoenicia to Piraeus, his ship sank, and he lost all of his goods. This event, which was completely out of Zeno's or anyone else's control, turned this wealthy man into a poor one in an instant. Imagine being Zeno. How would you respond if your entire life's efforts were wiped out by a force of nature? What would be the right reaction? Would you feel anger, sadness, or a sense of injustice? For most of us, these reactions would be typical, but not for Zeno, the founder of Stoicism. A single small change can last forever, and a minor shift in mindset can lead to more significant and impactful changes over time. The essence of Stoicism is acceptance and indifference. After studying the works of Socrates and other great philosophers, Zeno established and taught Stoicism. According to Zeno, while we cannot control much of what happens to us, we do have control over our reactions, and we must use this control effectively. Instead of lamenting over lost goods, Zeno focused on maintaining his composure, staying calm and neutral despite his difficult situation. Today, people often see Stoics as unbreakable individuals who do not experience extreme emotions like anger or anxiety. But the original concept of Stoicism was much deeper than that. Stoicism was not just a way to describe emotionally detached people. It was a method to understand and describe the world, a way of life that has endured for centuries. Stoic philosophy can be applied to modern situations just as effectively as it was thousands of years ago, offering equally significant benefits. Stoicism helps us process negative emotions from adverse experiences and transform them into thoughts that provide a unique perspective on the world. Perspective is everything, and everyone has different experiences and thus different viewpoints. The Stoics gathered, discussed, and taught philosophy publicly, making their general philosophy widely known. They believed that Stoic principles could benefit everyone, so they didn't keep this knowledge hidden within the walls of a school or palace courtyards. As a result, everyone from slaves to emperors could learn and become Stoics, and many did. Some of the most notable Stoics include Epictetus, who was once a slave, Seneca, a famous statesman, and Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of history's most powerful men. The early Stoics practiced what they preached, fighting against inequality and avoiding all forms of segregation. They even coined the term cosmopolitan, which means citizen of the world. Today, when we hear this word, we think of diverse cities like London, Miami, Dubai, and New York, representing the unity and togetherness preached by the Stoics. At the time Stoicism was founded, women were not allowed to pursue philosophy, but the Stoics completely disagreed with this. Musonius Rufus, Epictetus' teacher, once said, "It is not men alone who possess eagerness and a natural inclination towards virtue, but women also. Women are pleased no less than men by noble and just deeds, and reject the opposite of such actions. Since that is so, why is it appropriate for men to seek out and examine how they might live well? That is to practice philosophy, but not women." Even when it was unpopular, women were allowed to learn about Stoicism and become Stoics. So why do many people adopt Stoicism as a way of life? In a world full of unexpected events, our emotions can interfere with our actions. We don't get sad because bad things happen, but because unexpected bad things happen. Rain is beneficial as it waters our plants, provides water for livestock, and maintains a cool and humid environment. However, when a rainstorm catches you without an umbrella, it's an unpleasant experience. So why don't we cry when it starts to rain? It's because we have learned to expect it. Rain is unavoidable. We can't control the weather. Even though it's inconvenient, it passes, and the light returns. Stoicism teaches us to anticipate that anything bad that can happen will happen. Imagine the worst outcome and be at peace, knowing it could occur. One Stoic exercise is voluntary discomfort, which aims to increase gratitude. Sleep on your kitchen floor. Take cold showers instead of hot ones. Eat only potatoes for a few days. Activities like these help you understand that no matter how tough it gets, you can survive and thrive if your mindset is right. By enduring these uncomfortable situations, we mentally prepare for future challenges. In today's world, where we are constantly bombarded with advertisements making us believe that we need the latest and greatest, look a certain way, or earn a lot of money to be happy, the Stoic message is more relevant than ever. We start life knowing very little and grow up learning from home, school, and observing the world. These sources often teach us in different ways. The question is, do we need to internalize all this knowledge? If we do, we might set unrealistic expectations for our lives, leading to disappointment and dissatisfaction. That's no way to live. We should focus on self-improvement for our own sake, doing things for ourselves, not for external validation. External hopes and attachments often lead to disappointment. We try to fill emptiness with external things, like buying a fancy car or house, or starting a family. Sometimes we do these things for their external value, not their intrinsic value. Stoicism teaches that if we approach life this way, we place our happiness in external forces, which can fail, cars break down, natural disasters destroy cities, and divorce rates rise. Even free things in life come at a cost. The cost of space, both physical and mental. As Seneca once wrote, learning to live with less creates space for the things that truly matter to you. Instead, we should base our happiness on our intrinsic value as humans, not on what we have or can acquire. We must strive to maintain our composure, no matter what life throws our way. Regardless of our desires, we ultimately have no control over most of the events that affect us. But we do have complete control over how we respond to them. This is known as the dichotomy of control, the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. As Epictetus said, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can clearly tell myself which are external and beyond my control, and which involve the choices I do control. Stoics teach us to distinguish between what we can and cannot control. Our value should be derived from things within our control, not from external factors. While striving for goals is admirable, breaking down when things don't go as planned is seen as pointless from a Stoic perspective. Creating YouTube videos may be easier than ruling Rome, but it still presents challenges. First, you brainstorm your idea, which can take forever. Then you research, discard the idea because it isn't good enough. Start over, script the video, produce it, edit, create the thumbnail, title, and everything else before hitting upload. Up until hitting upload, everything is under your control. However, once you click upload, the power shifts to the YouTube algorithm. Many people measure their YouTube or Instagram success by views and followers, metrics largely out of their control. Stoics advise evaluating success based on the effort invested, not external outcomes. Trust the process. Living with less means freeing yourself from self-imposed societal constraints. Consider a person who has worked hard for 6 months, feeling deserving of a promotion, and approaches their boss with a performance report. The boss, however, does not grant the promotion, and the employee goes home feeling inadequate. They fail to consider the boss's mood, other candidates' qualifications, or the company's financial situation. If they evaluated their worth based on the quality of their report and continued striving for the promotion, they could be happier overall. With the right mindset, their goal remains but is merely postponed. This reframing is crucial. A true Stoic does not measure success by financial gain, but finds comfort in living a fulfilling life without material wealth. Stoicism is grounded in 4 main virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom involves distinguishing between internal and external factors and choosing our reactions. As Viktor Frankl said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. Courage means to persist and resist. Temperance, or moderation, involves doing more with less and conveying more with fewer words. While the wealthy compete for the top spots on lists, Stoics believe wealth's limit should be having what is essential and sufficient. Justice, the most important virtue, dictates that no harm should come to others, as we are born to help one another. Nelson Mandela, a renowned African leader, embraced these principles. After 27 years in prison, he emerged without seeking revenge against those involved in apartheid or his imprisonment. Instead, he urged reconciliation and rebuilding, emphasizing that the past was unchangeable and focusing on moving forward to build a better nation. This embodies Stoicism. Modern medicine incorporates Stoicism in practices like rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and logotherapy. REBT helps patients identify and challenge negative thought patterns, causing emotional and behavioral issues, replacing them with healthier beliefs. Logotherapy, based on the Stoic principle of purpose-driven life, suggests that even in the darkest times, finding meaning brings happiness, though it is a challenging process requiring mental rewiring. To address happiness issues, practice self-worth by valuing things under your control and not fixating on uncontrollable aspects. This leads to a happier, more fulfilling life. Stoicism guides us through past and present adversities toward calm and peace. Even if our ship sinks, we find solace in a life well lived, albeit shorter than expected. Because ultimately, everything comes to an end.